Kruger. You ain't lying about that. You be on people's ass.
You gotta worry about me in your daydreams, not your nightmares. That's me. I tell my for real. I'm hiring petty medics to drive the scramblings.
Hell yeah, it's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time, man.
Hell yeah, man.
What?
Since when we finally got to not introduce, but been doing each other since what, late 2016?
I say around that time because I didn't get on the Ian Gleason show until October of 2016 because I was a guest on the Ian Gleason show October the 1st, my birthday.
Yeah.
So I think I discovered y'all, I say around probably December, January.
Right.
You know, scrolling down the timeline on Facebook and bam, Takeover. It was Takeover Podcast then. It was
Takeover Podcast show. Yeah.
It was Takeover Podcast then, and I think what I was just happy to see that there was some other black guys podcasting besides me, and not only that, I seen the Takeover did it like the Ian Gleason show. You had 5 different personalities on the Ian Gleason show, opposed to with you, your brother, your cousin, whoever. It was 3 of y'all, I think.
Right.
And that's what. See, I know the original because y'all used to have music playing in the background.
Right.
Y'all were talking about wrestling and stuff like that.
Right.
Sports back then.
Right.
So when I seen y'all, not only that, I seen that y'all was connected to people from Shreveport. By the way, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't know if this shit rolling, by the way. Y'all want to know who I am. I don't know if you're going to ask me or let y'all know, but I'm your boy, Cutty Slim, the host of Cuttacation, the Kickback Podcast show, you know, a.k.a. Petty Kruger, a.k.a. the Beast of Beltline. That's me. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, Northside, Cherokee Park, Cooper Road, Grimmick Drive, North Market area. I got Philadelphia ties, you know, Erie Avenue, Northside, all that, you know, Dolphin Street, the Badlands. Now I stay in Dallas, Northside Dallas, you know, the Addison area, by the way, and I'm your podcaster, you know, I'm Petty Kruger. But like I was saying, though, it was good to see some other guys podcasting besides me, and they were black, and I seen that y'all had good content, and that's when I hit y'all up. I think I went in your inbox. I said, hey, yo, I like y'all shit, man. I sent you a link of the Ian Gleason show.
Right.
Shout out to Ian Gleason.
Shout out to Ian Gleason.
And I knew you listened to it because you hit me right back. And you're like, damn, I like this. Probably about a month later, y'all was on our show.
Right.
And that's how the connection came. And then they came to our show. Now that we invited them to our show. We invited them back to come to a pool party.
Matter of fact, now this what happened. You invited us to the first show. And at the time, we were still in development stage, but we had, you know, something going.
Y'all were out here, y'all was out in Dallas for something. It was a pool party going on.
No, that was later.
So y'all came to the show the first time?
So the first time we came the Saturday before the Super Bowl, before the Patriots played the Falcons, we came up there then. But I mean, when y'all first invited us, man, I went and looked at y'all numbers and following. I'm like, shit, you just never know who you're impressing with your product. You know what I'm saying? Maybe to y'all, they was like, man, we ain't big enough, we ain't this. But to us, hell, y'all like God podcast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when we got the invite, we was like, okay. So me and my partner,
and that was all of me doing that, you know. I was like,
right. And you made the network happen. Like you told Ian, like, hey man, these guys is up and coming. They got something. They put them on the show. We came up. That was with me and old PC.
Yeah.
Me and PC came up there.
Yeah. PC. Shout out to PC. That nigga right there, man. And can I, you know, I'm Cutty, man. Is it cursing on this show?
Yeah. What you think this is, man?
And another thing about the Ian Gleason show, people knew I was on the show when they put a disclaimer on the show because I had
thanks to you.
Gotta make sure, man. You know, I gotta ask questions, man. I gotta foul them out, man.
But the thing was, we came up there, did the Ian Gleason show, loved it. Then y'all invited us back for the 100th episode.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
That was a real good one. Y'all invited us for the 100th episode show.
That's right. The 100th episode came.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a podcast yet.
Right. That's before Cuttacation and all that.
Yeah, because What do you want to know about me? What do you want to know how it started? You want to know? You got any questions?
Oh yeah. We getting there.
Okay,
We getting
I
there.
just want to know because I feel like I don't want to go too far for where we going, but that's how we met. Because I remember, okay, to paraphrase the situation is that y'all came back, then the pool party, and the next day was my first.
There you go.
Well, about my second or third episode.
I think it was like episode number 2 or 3.
Something like that.
For your podcast.
Y'all happened to be over. Y'all was over the next day. Matter of fact, we called the episode "The Hangover" because we went to that pool party the day before, and everybody was fucked up the next day.
Right.
And that's why we called that episode "The Hangover."
Right.
And I wasn't doing visual; I was just straight audio then.
Right.
And that's how I got y'all on this. And I got y'all that time. So you've been on the Ian Gleason show twice.
Right. Went
and
twice.
You been on the Kickback once. See, that's how long
the podcast.
The podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
So you been on the Kickback podcast, okay. Because I was wondering, I said, okay, I thought you was on my show twice. And I thought you was on
No, it was on once. But that was before either one of us was doing visuals.
Yeah, I know that. I wouldn't even, like I said, I did two. I had y'all on the Ian Gleason show twice before I even did a podcast.
Right.
They were still promoting my show because when I came on the Ian Gleason show, it was a test run. I came on as a guest, as a rapper. And as I went on a couple other times, his fans started
gravitating
to me. They like, damn, who this fucking Cutty dude is? And next thing you know, they started promoting my podcast that I was gonna come out with, which I was gonna come out with before, called that Happy Hour. But somebody kind of bagged away from me, and that's how I got on the Ian Gleason show. And my content just went on. Like I never try to mimic nobody else's.
Well, but let me not stop you. How'd you even get into podcasting anyway? I know this ain't something you just woke up like, man, I'm just going to get in the podcast. How did you even get into that area?
First off, I'm a rapper first. I've been doing music for a long time. People know me as a rapper. And I got a CD. If you want to still check out that music, it's on your phone. On Apple Music, you can check out Cutty Slim, Louisa Yex's. I dropped that in 2009. We put it on iTunes 2011. I came home after doing a 2-year bid and started working on my second album called Damaged Goods, The Story, which some of that is on SoundCloud. I was halfway done with that album, and my girl got pregnant at the time, and I just slowed down on the rap stuff and stopped performing and doing shit like that. And what I was doing, I found myself more at home, watching YouTube, listening to talk radio, which I was already doing that shit before I even got. We had our own studio, right? Mm-hmm. So back then it wasn't podcast, it was internet radio.
Right.
And you can have your own little shit set up through your own little internet channel. And we were doing it already. So I already kind of like had a little drive, or when I'm done with rapping, what do I do next?
Right.
So I said, I still want to be into music and hip hop, but what would I do doing it not being a rapper? I run my mouth a lot. I talk a lot. I talk shit, swallow, spit. That's me, country boy, city slick. And I said, I want to do a podcast. What happened, I said I wanted to do what Breakfast Club doing. It wasn't a podcast then. All of a sudden, as being on YouTube a little bit more, I started seeing shit like Elliot Wilson, Rap Radar,
right.
Comeback Jack.
Right.
I started seeing those podcasts. And then what really made me get into podcasting, shout out to Taxstone.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, much love to Taxstone. I don't know the situation about whatever happened in Urban Coliseum or Plaza in Queens with him and Troy Ave.
Yeah.
Troy Ave was a good rapper that I like, but I watched that whole situation blow up from the beginning to where it's at now. But Taxstone made me say, damn, I can do this because he represented for niggas like me. Mm-hmm. And I said, I can do this, but I don't want to do it the way he doing it. What could I do to make mine different? And as time went on, Nori came with Drink Champs. I'm like, damn, okay, they drinking and smoking and shit. I said, that's what I want to do. See, Taxstone was doing the same thing. He was smoking and drinking, but his shit wasn't visible. But he was still getting a lot of runs.
Right,
shit.
right.
Imagine how hard that is to not be seen, but people listen to you. My first 6 episodes, I wasn't doing visuals. I was doing straight audio.
Yeah.
And people was telling me, say, man, do audio, man. Do visual, man. People want to see who they talking about. That could be the gift and the curse. Because you nobody don't want to look at shit, nobody gonna want to watch your shit. But they want to hear you, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. I was the same way, yeah.
So I said, okay, let's do visual. And I know that sometimes the visual can be fucked up no matter what your content is because they might don't want to see that motherfucker who you got on your show or whatever. They might want to glance at it. But if you just make it audio, them not even knowing who the fuck it is, it keep them curious.
It's true.
And so it's like, I finally went visual, and that's when I said, okay, fuck, I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm gonna stick visual with it because, okay, you already see it now.
But to me, it's easier to monetize when it's visual than just audio.
Exactly.
And that's what made me start to go the visual route. Because now you got podcasts popping up from everywhere. It's a crowded ass player field, but it's a smaller playing field once you went visual. So that was my reason I went visual.
And let's be honest, I ain't gonna lie. When I started podcasting at the iHeartRadio on the Ian Gleason show, I didn't know no other black podcaster.
Yeah, what that meant?
It just started coming to my head. And the thing about it with podcasting, I made it a whole different game. I said, let's go, you can get paid off this shit. Let's put this shit on YouTube. Yeah. Let's go take this shit. Let's go do a show over here. Let's go do a show over there. We had people from we had Great Lake, Michigan.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
They want to take over in the Ian Gleason show to come way up
to Michigan. Yep.
To do a show because we had fans way up there in the city I never heard of. And I'm getting people that is on Instagram. My Instagram followers went from 2-something to like 9-something real quick. I'm like, damn, okay, that's why I really started liking podcasting because I started seeing all the love I was getting. At the same time, enjoying it, 1 hour just talking shit with people, just regular conversations you have on the couch or in the barbershop with somebody. I started living that shit right there. I forgot about that I was gonna have a podcast. I fell in love with the Ian Gleason show. I started trying to make that a big deal.
It was a big deal for us to come on there because, man, y'all had the mics, the switchboards, the drops. And I'm like,
it was a real radio. It was our radio.
I'm like, oh, shit, this is how this really works. Okay.
We had the real, and Ian,
he just has a podcaster's voice.
He has his content. His topics. You listen to Ian Gleason show every week is something.
It's some original.
And it's like damn, like I be around him like most of the time. And another thing, like on his show, people are always asking where me, Bobby, Jose on the mic, where they at.
Yeah.
They don't understand. We see each other all the time. Well, now Bobby, he don't really be around that much. He be around me.
Right.
But like me, Ian, and Jose on the mic, we see each other like every Sunday, Funday football. We always at the local spot. We be hanging out there. Everybody know we at Sherlock's. Shout out to Sherlock's, right there in Beltline in Addison. But that's where we be at. We hang out there. But people thought we had went against each other for some reason when we stopped doing the Ian Gleason show.
That's what most people think, that something happened and broke up.
It was some things that had some disagreements, but we ain't gonna get into all of that. But
right.
I ended up doing my own podcast. There was a time I was doing the Ian Gleason show Saturday, and I was doing the podcast, the Kickback podcast show Sunday the next day. I sacrificed so much time. Watch this. When I did the Ian Gleason show, in the entire first season of Cuttacation, the Kickback podcast show, my co-host was my little son. Little Chubby.
True.
I used to take my son to the podcast show with me, and when we was at iHeartRadio, we just let him run around everywhere. You know, sometimes he'll be in my lap. One episode, matter of fact, he thought the Chubby was gonna be there when the first time we interviewed y'all, but it didn't happen. But Lil Chubby had more followers and friends and fans than we did.
For good reason.
But the thing about podcasting, to go back to what I mean by that, is that I sacrificed and I was so willing to do podcasting, I did it with my son in my lap. I utilized my time to do podcasting. Now, I made that statement right there to get into the fact that now everybody does a podcast now. Because back then, everybody wasn't doing a podcast. Now everybody and their mom does a podcast. First thing I do when I ask somebody, so what your podcast gonna be about? Talk about regular day topics, interview people, and I'm like, oh, so you gonna do the same thing that other podcasts and what Breakfast Club does. So that's what your podcast going. What are you gonna do to make your podcast stand out? How are you gonna represent your podcast? When people see you, they say, hey, what's up, girl? You the girl do the podcast, or what's up, dude? You the dude to do the podcast show. When I'm out somewhere, man, I can be in Galleria Mall, I can be anywhere, man. Cuttacation. They don't even say the kickback. They say Cuttacation. And people say, what Cuttacation is? First of all, my name is Cutty. And that's my nickname, my rap name. But Cuttacation ain't nothing but information, education, and medication coming from Cutty. And sometimes I get Cuttacated. But that's what Cuttacation mean. I just made it in my own world like Jesse Jackson. And everything that I did, I planted that shit, man, in my music a long time ago. All that shit, that scram, bitch. Like, I got an acronym for down there everything I have. I just sit right here, I stay laughing at y'all.
Okay. I was wondering what that meant.
And like I wear that boss hat.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, better off staying single. And I throw the other boss hat on, they be like, why? Bitches on some shit. and like everything's an acronym. I'm an acronym king. So like this right here though, I like this shit right here because the girls, they love it because they think it's Beyonce shit. I slay. No, I stay laughing at y'all. That's what that is. And I'm just, you know what? I got my own terminology, and this will make my fucking podcast solid and authentic because I don't talk like everybody else talk.
So, you've been doing podcasts for a while. I've been doing it for a while myself. Like, what's some of the biggest mistakes you see some of these podcasts doing? Because there's a lot out there, but it seems like you got to find out about them by accident.
I can call out the mistakes that I do at the podcast. To keep it 100. I'm not going to just shit it. I can go in all other podcasts.
In general, just in general.
Okay, in general, what I find out what podcasters do, they start this shit and they go for a 4-week, 5-week run, they stop.
Yeah.
No, and another thing they do this shit because they see somebody else doing it and they don't advertise it well enough, which is bad marketing, and they just don't proceed in this shit. It doesn't go no further. So I see that a lot in people that say I'm doing a podcast. There are people who came to me, say, man, I'm starting a podcast show, man. You're the reason why I'm doing it. I said, I appreciate that, man, but what are you gonna do? What is your purpose of doing a podcast? You gotta find, especially with YouTube, when you do a podcast, like, you gotta have a label on what you want your podcast to be. A dude hit me up, man, my boy Scooch Seat Up. Shout out to Scooch Seat Up, man, my boy Brian. He hit me up, he didn't even know who I was. And he hit me up on DM on Instagram. Say, man, you hilarious, man. How long you been doing this? I said, doing what? He said, comedy. I said, I'm not no fucking comedian, man. I said, I just do a podcast, so I just say some real shit that's real funny, I guess. I mean, right. I guess it's funny because you don't expect nobody to say this shit. I'm gonna say it. Everybody is food. People are like, why you say that? I mean, I'm not biased. I'm very objective. I don't pick no sides. I just roll with whoever the punch is right for me. When he told me that shit, I said, why? I said, this is not a comedy podcast. So what do I want to, when people ask me what kind of podcast you have, what do I say? I ain't gonna lie. I tell people, I say, for a while I say, I do a hip hop podcast. I interview rappers, which I interview rockers, R&B singers.
Yeah, whoever.
And activists, preachers, whoever. I hadn't had them on my show. Random bartenders, whoever at restaurants to talk about people not tipping or drunk people. I had them on my show. So I said, okay then, fuck that shit. I'm not a fucking hip hop podcast. I'm just a street podcaster. I give you everything from the concrete to what's above that shit. If it's relevant and it's cool to talk about, I'm gonna talk about it. But I talk about anything that evolves around the streets that especially I'm aware of. And that symbolizes my podcast because it gives me a whole variety of shit to talk about, whether it's sports, music, chicks, dudes, bozo shit, bozo shit. Somebody's funny though, somebody said, say man, I feel like when you say bozo, man, it's very insulting. I said, it is insulting, it's supposed to be an insult. They say, man, but bozo's a clown. I said, that's right, people do clown ass shit. Homie don't play that, bozo ass nigga.
Man, so okay. When you do your podcast, or I don't know if you can call it a podcast.
By the way, y'all, I gotta pull up for that.
Oh, you go ahead and pull.
Yeah, I'm the host of the kid.
Well, while you pulling, I'll be asking.
You want something, man? Come on, man. Shout out to Twisted Vision, by the way.
Already. Now, of course, when you get a hot podcast, hot blog, or whatever, everybody, their mama want to come on there.
Yeah.
I know you have that problem. I have that problem myself. How do you select your guests that come on your show? Because if you're going to have a brand, you just can't let everybody just walk on there.
And what you saying that especially on my podcast, because my first 2 seasons took place at my crib. So now
Yes, especially yours.
I'm inviting people to my crib where I lay at and sleep and, you know, whatever. Where I got all my belongings at. So
Right.
that was a big risk. But how do I pick people? Most of the people that come on my show, they DM me and they send me all their material. I do a background check on them. And this after I talked on the phone with them for like an hour or two.
Okay.
And now I listen to their music because now I listen to their music. Now I know what to ask, questions I want to ask and all that. What's this and that? I know it makes the interview better because when you have a guest, it's not kicking back no more. It's actually interviewing somebody, and you gotta ask this person. Now they don't gotta answer every question if they don't want to, and they don't have to incriminate this. If they want to brag and be too big, do it.
They want to go Vlad style.
But I don't really. The way I choose people on my show is having enough information about them, where I feel comfortable with having them on. Sometimes, to be honest, I don't even really having guests that much, because I got too much content up here myself to talk about.
Right.
Every now and then, King George TV, shout out to King George.
Big
TV.
shout out to King George.
Every now and then, a couple episodes he had, like we'll be doing a show that night, and he'll be calling me, hey yo, I got a guest for the night. I'm like, who the fuck they are? And he'll tell me, I'm like, okay, damn, I guess I gotta run the wind and just go with it. And those turn out to be not even just interviews, it's just him being part of the show and me just ask him questions that he probably don't want to answer or she don't want to answer. Of course, you probably seen episodes where people walk out of my show.
Yep, seen that a couple times.
And that's what it is. I'm not your friend. It's not what it is. First of all, I got you on my show. That's doing you a favor because you can't go to the radio station. You can't go to 97.9. You can't go to fucking Vlad TV. You can't go to Breakfast Club. You can't go to Ebro in the morning. You can't go to Power 95. I'm your stepping stone. I'm doing you a favor. At the same time, it's me a favor on the slick because whoever a fan of yours is going to become a fan of mine by you being on my show.
Well, see, you actually prepping them up for questions. If they end up making it big, you got to be prepared to answer these questions, or either you have like I say you got to know how to take.
It's like basic training.
Yeah.
It's like training camp.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Showing them the rope. At the same time, I'm getting better the more shows I do as a person interviewing somebody, I get better. I had Gypsy Jones on the show. Shout out to Gypsy Jones. She's an artist. She's on her third album right now. She came out with an album, The Impossible Gospel of Gypsy Jones. Before she came on the show, I listened to the entire album twice. I wrote down notes. When she came on the show, the questions I had to ask her, she was surprised that I was asking about song number 7, the second boy in verse number 2. She didn't expect nobody to get that deep into her album to even know what she's talking about, but I did my research because I'm a journalist.
That's good journalism.
And I got an associate's degree in there, by the way.
There it is.
But
people walking out your show, I think that just shows that they weren't prepared because you should know what you're coming into.
Here's the thing though, man. People, they think, just because you black and I'm black, I don't expect for you to agree with everything I say when it comes to the culture or representing the culture. Right. I might be out of line. I might not be defining the situation deep enough for you to understand. But I can't get mad at you because you don't agree with me. Just think about black people. Once we don't agree with each other, the first thing we call each other is a coon or Uncle Tom. That's bozo. First of all, do you know who Uncle Tom is? They don't even know who Uncle Tom is. Uncle Tom wasn't the guy that was Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was the guy that was trying to make, you know who Uncle Tom was? Uncle Tom he's the opposite of what we got trained to think Uncle Tom was. He was the guy that was for the black people. Mm-hmm. But people will call you Uncle Tom because they feel like
you ride with the white man.
But that ain't the real definition of Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was the guy that was helping out the black people. But they quit to call you coon or you not woke when you don't agree with them. You can agree with 1,000 things about life with these people, but as soon as you don't agree, you're a coon.
Well, a lot of times, even the ones that so-called call themselves woke, they not as woke as what they sit and say that they are.
Talking about you Maxwell coffee drinking motherfuckers. Talking about you woke. Motherfucker, how about this? I was aware, not fuck that, I wasn't woke, I was aware about this shit before fucking smartphones. Because guess what? My mom has encyclopedias and Jet magazines and Ebony magazines. She been getting that shit subscribed to her fucking house for years. So when I wanted to know about black people and shit, I took the time to pick them books up and read them. I didn't have to have a smartphone to give me the answer real quickly. If it wasn't for Google, none of you motherfuckers would be nerds. On God. Cuttacation.